Okay, so after a day's use or a basic clean of the airbrush, you've cleaned out all of your paint and most of the residual pigment. So we're going to deconstruct it and I'll show you how to use that. Now I do like using this nice cleaning mat, but for the purpose of the video, I think I'm going to put it onto some paper towel so it shows a little better as I break it down. So the tools to my right here are all basic tools. These ones come in the maintenance kit, so as a deep clean and fully deconstructing the airbrush, you will need to use those. You can utilize other equipment to just use a basic clean, but the needle packing guide remover is probably the key part, as well as the air valve set. I've got a cleaning brush here as well, which does come in our water cleaning kit. Okay, so the other part here is our nozzle wrench. So once I've taken off the air cap and the parts at the front of the airbrush, we can dismantle our nozzle. Sometimes they need replacing, so I'll show you how to use that. Our micro brushes as well are another 2-spray component that are just nice and easy to just clean out and airbrush it after a day's use. Okay, so I'm going to remove our accessory here, which is just a quick connect. And then I will start to pull the needle out first. Obviously we don't want to expose the needle as we're pulling everything else off and then bending that. So this is the easiest way to do it, and I would recommend doing it from the back forward. So just remove the handle, a little chucking nut, and delicately pull the needle out. Chucking nut. Okay, so from here, once the needles are removed, we can safely pull apart the front of the brush as well. We'll just keep going from the back. So it just unscrews. Now there is a spring behind there. Make sure you don't lose the spring. That will release the trigger. Okay, so we'll start by removing the needle cap, then the nozzle cap, and then the head assembly, the spanner. Now be careful when you remove the head assembly, because the nozzle will just want to fall out. Now the Eclipse nozzle is a 2-part cone shaped style, very unique to the Iwata airbrush. Okay, so the main body of the airbrush is dismantled, but the other thing I like to do if you have a sticky trigger, for further maintenance, is remove the air set guide. Now it is going to want to fly out on you, so be very careful. Here's your spring and the piston. Now the tool that I just used to remove that is only available in the maintenance kit, as well as the needle packing removal tool. So the 1.4 is suitable for most of the airbrushes. You'll find that seat in there and then unwind the needle packing guide. Okay, so that's removed as well. So this is where I usually give it a bit further of a clean. So everything's removed. You can flush some water through the entire airbrush. You shouldn't have any water in the air valve chamber, but you can flush it as well. I do like to get the part where the trigger assembly goes. And with some micro brushes you can get into there nicely. So that assembly there. With the cleaning brush you can clean inside the pot a little bit nicer. Okay, so that is our disassembled airbrush. So to reassemble, I like to go in reverse. Another thing I like to do delicately is clean the nozzle. So just by rotating that, don't force the needle too far through, but yeah, you might get some residual paint out that way. But to remove that nozzle, it will need to be seated in. Okay, so with the body all nice and clean, we can start to piece it all back together. So sometimes you might find the plungers a little bit sticky. You can give that a bit of a clean, and you can also re-lubricate that if you do find that you do have a sticky trigger. You reseat the plunger, followed by the spring, and then the little back nut. Now this may require you to use the tool correctly. You'll find that seat nicely and the plunger will protrude through the base, and don't cross thread it, just do it nice and firm. Okay, so first we'll need to put the needle packing guide in. Once that's clean, so you will find sometimes that gets a little bit dirty, but it doesn't require constant removal. Okay, so just firm but not too tight. Okay, and then we seat the trigger in. So we're aiming for the hole down there. Okay, you can see that's operating correctly. Check that before you piece the rest of it together. Okay, so that's all just hand tight, and we can again check that that forces the trigger back into place. Then we'll piece the front of it together. So we'll need to put our nozzle in. This one needs to be a little bit tighter than finger tight. Okay, so now that that's up nice and tight, we'll put the nozzle cap back on. Again, I'll do that just a little bit tighter than finger tight. Then the needle cap. And then the final part is the needle, delicately placing that through. Now, you'll find that it'll want to stop. Don't push it much further than that. The guide. And then we piece that together. You should have a nice working airbrush. Okay, so that's how you do a deep clean and deconstruction of the HPCS Iwata Eclipse. If you do forget how to use it or put it back together, it is on the cleaning mat, and it's also available on our website. You can find the PDF on there, so if you've pieced something together wrong or you're unsure how it goes back together, you can have that as a guide next to you.